Silent night, holy night. I almost don't want to do this today, because wow, what a difference a weekend makes. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all my Christmas elves? It is I, the man who puts humbug in bah humbug, the original Grinch. That's what the OG stands for. The OGGM, broadcasting live from a small island off the coast of Costa Rica, affectionately referred to as Site B. Or maybe this week I'm broadcasting from the North Pole with my stocking full of coal, because it's time to take a look at the tabletop role-playing game news stories that are going to chart our course this week, get out our maps, our compass, and our HE Sextent, and take a look at, wow, the maelstrom. The maelstrom. If I could go back 7 days and tell myself, I'd be like, dude, wow. I mean, how amazing that, last Monday I was like, oh, it looks like the year's going to end pretty okay, right? There's no way it could be as bad as last year's in January. Well, this week decided to listen to what I had to say and went, hold my beer, and decided to dredge up a whole bunch of new controversies. But before we dive into that, let's get into some of the other things. All right. Number one, thank you to our friend Aaron Cornelius. We have found the ORC. I'm going to post the link. So the ORC license final is up on the Azra Law website. It is not on the Paizo site. It is hidden in the Paizo site. But if you go to the Azra Law site, the final ORC supposedly is printed. Now, the one thing I want to take a look is if they changed the problems we found in it before. So blah 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 blah. Okay, so there is an ORC license you can use now if you want to copy and paste it. It is line 3, item A. That's good to know. Here we go. Remember when we looked at it last time, there was that mistake in the reserved material. That looks like it's gone. And then the sample notice is here. Oh, no, they included it. They kept it in. Oh, no. All right, but they did change it to the example notice. So hopefully that'll change the problem we found originally. But yes, there's a copy. There's something here you can copy and paste, and you just change the sample wordings they put in, because they did put a reference to a non-existent role-playing game, which I thought was a mistake. But they now are listing it. So yes, I guess this is it. I've posted the link. You could also find it on the Kobold Press website, where they've done their Operation Black Flag SRD and has the complete copy and pastable stuff you can use for both the ORC and the 5e.1 SRD. So probably still the best bet, if you want to find the best way to use it, is to go to the Kobold Press Project Black Flag and download the SRD and just use that one there. Okay, so our next story is the mystery of the dates. What is going on with the release dates for the 2024 Dungeons & Dragons product? So here's the timeline from when I first heard about it. So 1 p.m. Friday, or was it Thursday? It was either Thursday or Friday. These pictures went up, and they had a date. We were believing we were going to see the core rule book and the Vecna book around May 21st. So that was 1 p.m. on Thursday. 3 p.m. on Thursday, this was as PAX was starting. This is when these were announced. The dates were gone. The posters look like this. 10 p.m. Thursday night / Friday morning, the dates were back. If you looked at the posters, post PAX on the site, the dates were back on the picture saying May 21st. Then, as of 1:15 a.m. the next day, so that would have been Saturday. So 1:52 Friday. Yes, let's just say Saturday. was Friday night, Saturday morning. The dates are gone again. So as of today, no dates. The 2024 Player's Handbook is coming out in 2024, but we do not have a date. So either they weren't supposed to tell you those dates and they made a mistake, or the dates are not set in stone because, I don't know, there might be another shipping problem. So that's what we know now. I'm assuming we will have a date, an official date for the digital copies by January 1st. Because we know they're 99, if not 100% done, no matter what they're saying about the playtests. So they could announce the digital copies whenever they wanted it. They could announce them today for all we know. I'm drinking coffee. And then the physical products could be, it might be out in May or June or July or August or 2025. I have a feeling this is going to be a repeat of what we're seeing with the Deck of Many Things. I don't think you're going to have any problem finding a very specific date that the digital stuff is going to go up on D&D Beyond. If it's not already ready, it will be ready any day now. I mean, they could announce it today. The physical ones, they're going to keep pushing back, just like they're pushing back with the cards. And they're going to say things like shipping, printing. But really it is, and I obviously have no basis for fact on this. This is just my general feeling based upon Wizards of the Coast and the way the industry works. They are waiting to see if they make enough money in pre-sales of the physical copies to make it worthwhile to print and ship the physical copies. So until they hit that imaginary mark, they're going to just keep saying, the Deck of Many Things has been pushed back because of printing errors. And when it comes to the core rule books, they're just going to say, we had to push it back because shipping, because a strike, because a storm, because of volcanoes. But what they're really saying is, until you guys give us enough money to make it worth our while to make the physical products, we're just going to keep pushing them back. Now, I could be 100% wrong. This could just be simple Wizards of the Coast tomfoolery. It's just they said they made a mistake, and they're like, oh, no, we better fix the mistake. Oh, damn it, you made another mistake. Just don't put a date. Do not put a date. Just leave it like it is. Just let people know sometime during the year it's going to definitely have a digital thing come out. Sometime between January 1st, 2024 and midnight, December 30th, 2024. Guarantee you that most likely the Player's Handbook will be available digitally. But, okay. The next thing is they're re-releasing Shadowrun, first edition. Not sure why. Hopefully we have an explanation. Is it, I can only think because it's in the 6th edition now. So is it an anniversary? Anyways, if you want to get a POD of Shadowrun First Edition, it's available on drive-thru. I've posted the link. I'm not sure why. 35 years ago, unless it's the 35th anniversary this year, is it? I mean, every year is an anniversary year, but let's see if it says on the drive-thru. No, it's just, this is the original. You can get it for POD for $12. If you guys remember the original first edition of Shadowrun, where it took like an hour to resolve one round of combat. Yeah. Anyways, or you could just get the 6th edition, which was just recently on sale and will no doubt be sale again. I'm guessing it's an anniversary. I'm not sure, but I think that can be the only reason why that they would re-release it, unless there's a huge cry out to the re-release of the first edition when you're on your 6th edition. Question mark. All right. Well, Now we got to dive into the big one, because there's no way in hell this is not going to affect the rest of the week, and this is going to get ugly. It is already ugly. I've already received some rather interesting text because talking about this earlier this week. But yeah, we got to talk about this thing. All right. Before I get into any of the other stuff, let's just, from a purely presentation, this is awful. This is just an awful poster. And it's not because of the color of these guys' skins. It's because the choices you made. First, this color, this piss green, lime green, police do not cross color. Why this color? This is just, ugh. There's just nothing pleasant about this color. And then this big white empty space above it, this is just hard on the eyes. Okay. Second, it's too busy. This is just too busy. You only want to have like 3 names on there. You want to have the 3 big names, and then maybe you want to put other names smaller down below. Okay. So you put your Joseph Goodman, you put your Bob Wildbuilder, and you put your Sly Flourish, because those are the big ones on here. And then, you put like that one here, the second one here, and the third one here. Then down below, you just a list of some of the other major ones with teeny pictures, like they do for Comic-Con. So that's the first 2 things I see wrong with this, without even addressing the third thing. Now, the third thing, of course, is the fact that the way people have responded to this, because it's all white dudes. All right. It's all white dudes. So you would think, after everything that has happened in the industry this year, at least one of these guys, at least Bob Wildbuilder, because he's already been through it, would know that if you put a whole bunch of people that look like this on your poster, you are going to get attacked. It's just, people don't care about the quality of your work right now. It's the color of your skin. And then just the assumption that none of these people on this picture check off any of the boxes of diversity bingo, right? They're all just cis, heterosexual, white, Catholic men born in America who live in Arkansas and, hate everything on the left. None of these guys are disabled. None of these guys are LGBTQT. None of these guys are over the age of 40. None of these guys are divorced or single dads. None of these guys are Jewish or any other religion. All of these guys are born in America, and their descendants are born in America. None of them are from another country. None of these guys are from Russia or Ireland or anything else. Nope, they're all cis, white, heterosexual, under 40, male men who have absolutely nothing wrong with them, and who are married and who hate babies and love zombies and kick baby kittens, right? So that was the third thing. You would think you would know, Joseph Goodman and Bob Wildbuilder, that after everything that's happened this year, that this poster was going to get you in trouble, no matter what. Michael Curtis kind of looks like, no, anyways, And of course, so they got attacked, right? There was no way they were not going to get attacked the second they printed this. And the hypocrisy, we'll get to that in a second. So, of course, side A went after them, and side B defended them, and side C said, well, look, all that really matters is the quality of these person's work. That's all that should matter. This is going to come up in a second. These guys are the ones they pick because they're the most qualified to talk on the subject. It shouldn't be about the color of your skin. It should be about your resume, the qualities you bring. Are you the most skilled to be able to present this topic? And we talked about this the other day too. When you're doing a poster on this, you want your big, easily recognizable names, because who here knows who Phil Reed is? Maybe 3 people. Joseph Goodman, well, it's Goodman Games, so he's probably somehow connected, so that's a good call. But, your number one right here is Bob Wildbuilder. Most of the people who are in the YouTube gaming thing know who Bob is, so that's your big money game. That's your William Shatner. It doesn't matter if Bob is the last guy talking on the last day for 10 minutes. That's your Shatner. That's your guy that people are going to go, ooh, he's at the convention. I want to go. So those should have been, that's you want your talking points. You want your faces that are going to get seats in. So those should have been the ones. And then the ones that are most qualified. And then there should only have been like 3 of them. Mm-hmm. So the angry side is they're all white dudes. None of them are diverse in any way, shape, or form, which is, of course, bullshit beyond comparison. That's reverse racism. And the people who are saying that didn't bother to do any research or look at any of the other presenters. They simply said, none of these guys are diverse. This is racism. And the other side said, never defending them. And the next mistake Goodman Games made was releasing an apology. And they released the apology using the exact same color. I mean, it's bad enough you apologize. You didn't have anything to apologize for. And for apologizing, you just made it worse. And you're just, so many people are saying, I'm done with Goodman Games. But you chose this color again? This is just an awful color. It just hurts my eyes to look at it. And the choice of this color just instantly takes away anything from anything this says. Because the first thing my brain is registering is this ugly lime green police caution tape yellow color, this piss green yellow that you choose. I don't know why you would choose this color. You want a this is just, it's just a horrible choice. Instantly, whatever else is said is just drowned out by this color. So they apologized and they thanked you, and then they changed the poster. And of course, with the poster, they have new people on there, and most of the poster people are like, I have no idea who these are. I couldn't even find them on Google. And so now one side's angry at them for apologizing. You didn't have to apologize. And then, the other side's like, oh yeah, you stood up and you apologized and we forgive you. And most people are going, yeah, I think you've just lost my money for now, Goodman Games. But again, the big thing was, it's the quality of the presenter that matters, not the color of their skin. Because there was people going, no, I should be up there because I'm a POC. You should hire me. And people were like, why should I hire you unless you've actually produced as much stuff as Bob Worldbuilder or Goodman Games? I should hire you by the quality of your skills, not the color of your skin. We don't want diversity hiring, right? We want people hired based upon what they bring to the table, right? I'm going to hire the best actor for the role. Doesn't matter what they look like. I'm going to hire the best person to fill the role as administrator. Doesn't matter what they look like. I'm going to hire the best person to pilot this plane because they're the most skilled. I don't care what they look like. I don't care what boxes they check on the diversity. If they're the best person for the role, that's why we pick them. Yeah, they should have thrown a girl on there because sex sells. But whatever. Then the very next day, another thing came out, and the exact same people who were saying, well, it doesn't matter the color of your skin. All that matters is your quality, are saying, fuck that. Why did you put somebody up whose color of skin was not what I thought it should be? So and that's like, well, whatever, as far as I'm concerned, your argument falls flat if you're now using the reverse of the argument to defend a separate topic. All right. Anyways, yes, there's no way this controversy is not going to continue. It brings whatever would have been a pleasant end of the year back to where we started last year, just with the tabletop role-playing game community destroying each other. The Scott Garabys and those guys are all just cheering the fact that we're tearing each other apart, that we've resolved nothing from where we were a year ago, that we basically just hate each other and we hate everything we say. And, it doesn't matter what side of the arguments you're on, you suck. You're either a baby eating, zombie kissing, baby chicken stepping on, or lefty, or you're a baby eating, zombie loving, kitten kicking righty, and that side says you're wrong and the other side says you're wrong, and everybody hates each other, and everybody's like, oh, you need to die and fuck you, and how can you say these things, and blah blah blah, hypocrisy. But I hate when you say that stuff about me, so I'm going to turn around and say the exact same thing but worse about you. Blah, blah. I gotta say again, until people made this into a thing, my only complaint was, why that color? Why so busy? But now I have to be like, oh, I need to choose a side, or I'm a horrible person. No matter what side I choose, somebody else will say I'm a horrible person. And if I choose not to choose a side, I'm a horrible person. So no matter what, I'm a horrible person. And no matter what, Goodman Games lost. The second they printed that poster, they were doomed. And then printing this only dooms them some more. The only good thing that could come out of this is they might get some heat. And heat sells merch. And negative heat, hate sells as much, if not more merch than positive heat. All right. Pro wrestling heel merch generally sells more than pro wrestling babyface merch. MJF's merch sells more than Darby Allin's merch. Okay. CM Punk's merch, when he showed up last week, is already outsold anybody else's merch. All right. Heel merch sells more than babyface merch because people love to hate the heels, but they also love to support them even though they don't want to. So the only good thing that could come out of this is it's getting Goodman Games a lot of free press, and it might get them some heat-based sales. People who want to continue to support them are going to be like, yeah, I'm going to totally give them a ton of money. And the people who hate them are like, I really, really hate these guys, but I'm also curious about what their actual product is. So I might secretly pick stuff up, but I'll never admit it, you know? So that's the only possible good thing that can come out of this. Other than that, Goodman Games is kind of just doomed themselves. I don't know what, if anything, they can do to pull out of this, which sucks because DCC is a great game. It's my favorite retro clone. And their collections, their old school collections, like Keep on the Borderlands, Castle Amber, Temple of Elemental Evil, my favorite Isle of Dread. Those are amazing. Those are huge. But yeah. Where do we go from here? Oh yeah. Back to Wizards of the Coast. I don't know how I could top this. It's not like Wizards of the Coast could do anything that... Oh, wait. This thing! The complete history / original reprint of the original books, maybe, making of D&D book, where they're finally going to acknowledge Gary Gygax, or are they? And what is this? What is this? What's the whole point of this? Okay? Well, the point of this is pretty obvious. The point of this, after spending the past 10 years saying nothing that came out before 2014 matters, after spending the 10 years telling us how awful everything in these books were, how awful the writers of these books were, and how awful people who played these versions of the game were, they're reprinting them. Now, we know there's going to be forewords and warnings and negative comments about these and how, awful Gygax was and how they've changed the history and that nothing that was written, but they're reprinting them. And why are they reprinting? Why would you reprint a subject that you have spent so much time dumping on and telling people it doesn't matter, doesn't exist? At no point in time do you even give any reference or love to Gygax in your movie, and you're giving, passing Gygax love in the 2024 stuff. You don't even mention Dave or anybody else. It's just, blah, 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 Gygax. Why would you release this now? Because it's the 50th anniversary? Well, you didn't do it at the 40th or the 45th or the 35th. Why release this now? Why would you do something that only appeals to a very small niche, i.e. me and people like me, the old school players who might want to see this stuff reprinted? Why? I doubt anybody on the, the new school even gives a fuck about these, They only want the 5e stuff. And you've spent the last 20 some odd years telling us that this didn't matter. And if you read this stuff or had any connection with this stuff, you're a horrible person. So why re-release it now? Are you trying to make up to the OGL and the OSR after January? Are you trying to apologize to all the older gamers like myself who you've spent the last 20 years dumping on and telling us how horrible we are? Are you hoping that the older generation will support you again when the current generation dumps you? Because make no mistakes, ladies and gentlemen, the OGL happened because people wanted you to be able to continue to play and run and make product for all the variations for the game, including D&D. And the number of people who are complaining about the choices Wizards of the Coast has made in 2024, 90% of those are people that Wizards of the Coast claims are their target audience. The people who are making the most negative comments aren't me, aren't the people on my side. I mean, all the negative comments that came out about the TV show and the fact that there was no information on the TV show on Prime after they said the TV show is going to be up, that was 5e. Those are all 5e people. Those are all 5e people. I wouldn't even have known the story if D&D Shorts hadn't reported about it, and D&D Shorts wouldn't have reported about it if he hadn't seen it mentioned on the 5e boards. 5e players are the ones who are complaining about the choices Wizards of the Coast is making for 2024. 5e players are the ones who filled out all those surveys and said, I don't want this. The old school, me, we're like, I don't fucking care. I don't play your game anymore. Do whatever you want. You're not getting any of my money. So they're like, oh, great. We're gonna lose a huge chunk of our fan base. And if Daggerheart comes out and all the critters follow Daggerheart, we're going to lose another huge chunk of our fan base. So all that's left, who has a disposable income, who might want to spend the $300, $400, $500 on the high-end products like this, are the people we've just spent the last 10 years saying you suck. So this is an apology. This is a please come back and continue to support the game you love, old players. We're sorry we've spent the last 20 years telling people you're pieces of shit. And your game didn't matter. That's what this is. That's all this is, yeah. And we know, we already know there's going to be forewords and warnings and safety tools and articles and comments and editorials about how awful Gary was and how awful Dave was and how awful all the people who played this game was. And the only decent human beings on the face of the planet that games are the people who play 5e, even though the people who are complaining the most about 5e at this point in time are 5e players. Let me remind you again, it's not the old school. It's not us. It's not me and Dice Tales for complaining about these choices. It's the 5e players. It's the 5e players who went on the boards and complained about the surveys. It's the 5e players who are complaining to the Adventurers Guild about the changes. It's the 5e players who are going, I'm not going to give you money in 2024 for the new D&D because you just told me I don't have to. The old school, us, we're like, I don't give a fuck. Do whatever you want, Wizards of the Coast. I'm not going to buy your game. So, and the Wizards of the Coast is going, please buy our game. We're sorry. What can we do to get you back? Well, you could not reprint this, or if you're going to reprint this, you could reprint it first with an apology, and then second, don't put any commentary. Don't tell us how awful Gygax was. Just reprint it. And start apologizing. Then maybe you can get 1% of the old school back. But I think the damage has been done, just like with the Goodman Games thing. I don't think there's anything Wizards can do at this point to save their relationship with the older players. And I'm not sure there's anything they could do to save their relationship with the new players. It's not like they're going to, the people who are going to buy 2026 D&D are the people who are going to buy it anyways. Is it going to be as big as 5e? No. Is it going to be as big as the sales they had in 2020, 2021, and 2022? Absolutely not. Are they going to lose a huge chunk of their support if the critters follow Daggerheart? Absolutely. Is there anything they can do to make that $1 billion a year that Hasbro expects them to do? Who knows? Things do not look good. And this is not how we wanted the year to end. We did not want the year to end in another trash fire of hypocrisy. And it's so hard to take either side serious when they all act just like, children. And then when I see children actually playing make-believe, and I'm like, wow, these 6-year-olds behave better than the adults. It's sad. I don't know where to go with that, and I've got to change the cat litter, and I need a break. That's it for the news. That's all the stories that are going to shape this week. The Goodman Games nonsense, and what the fuck's going on with Wizards of the Coast nonsense. And hey, here's a chance to get a copy of Shadowrun for anybody who didn't have it when it first came out. Now go away and get off my land, you damn meddling kids.